Every day, someone somewhere builds a hotel. Nothing special about that, right? But what if I told you someone just built a 1,004 room luxury resort on a piece of land smaller than a grocery store parking lot? And to fit everything, they had to stack it 377 meters straight up into the sky. We're talking about a building so tall and so thin that it sways in the wind like a diving board. A hotel where the swimming pools are in the clouds and guests check in on the ground but sleep 80 floors up. This is the story of how Dubai built the world's tallest hotel on one of the tiniest plots of land imaginable, and why it might be one of the riskiest bets in construction history. Dubai's impossible habit. Let me start by saying Dubai has a track record of doing impossible things. They built Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. They created Ski Dubai, an indoor ski slope in the middle of the desert. They constructed palm-shaped islands in the ocean. Sometimes they succeed spectacularly. Sometimes they fail just as spectacularly. Remember the World Islands? 300 artificial islands that were supposed to look like a map of Earth. Most of them still sit there, empty and abandoned. Or the Dubai Pearl, canceled halfway through construction. Nakheel Tower, planned to be over 1,000 meters tall, never broke ground after the 2008 financial crash. But what Dubai tried next was different. They didn't want the tallest building. They wanted something more specific, the world's tallest hotel. And they had a problem. They only had 2,500 square meters to build it on. For context, most 1,000 room resorts need tens of thousands of square meters. You need space for lobbies, restaurants, kitchens, pools, parking, loading docks, everything. Dubai had a plot the size of a small parking lot. So what did they do? They built straight up. The result is CL Tower, 377 meters tall, 82 floors, 1,004 rooms, all crammed onto a tiny triangular piece of land in Dubai Marina. Let me explain how crazy this actually is. The problem with the location. Dubai Marina is one of the most densely packed areas on Earth. It's like someone took Manhattan and dropped it into the Middle East. Skyscrapers everywhere, no empty land. Everything is already built. And the plot they chose for CL? It's squeezed between Cyan Tower, that twisting skyscraper you've probably seen, a major highway, and the Marina Walkway. The shape, a narrow triangle. The size, 2,500 square meters. That's tiny, ridiculously tiny. During construction, there wasn't even enough room to store materials on site. Every delivery had to be timed perfectly. A truck would arrive. The crane would immediately lift what it brought, and the truck would leave. No storage, no staging area, just precision timing. The real challenge wasn't logistics, it was physics, the engineering nightmare. When you build a hotel, you normally spread things out horizontally. Lobby on the ground floor, restaurants nearby, pool outside, rooms spread across maybe 5 to 10 floors. But when you only have 2,500 square meters of land and need 1,004 rooms, everything goes vertical. Restaurants, 74th floor, swimming pool, on the roof, observation deck, carved into a massive opening near the top. That opening, by the way, is called the Eye of the Needle. It's not just for looks. It actually helps the building deal with wind. Because here's the thing. At 377 meters tall, sitting on such a tiny base, this building is incredibly skinny. Engineers measure this using something called slenderness ratio. Most skyscrapers are around 1 to 7 or 1 to 8. That means they're 7 or 8 times taller than they are wide. CL Tower, 1 to 14. That's almost twice as slender as normal skyscrapers. What does that mean in practice? It wants to sway, like a really tall diving board. And sway is the enemy of tall buildings. Too much sway and people inside feel sick, windows crack, structures weaken. So how did they stop it from swaying? How they made it stand? First, they built a massive reinforced concrete core running straight up the middle of the building. The core is the backbone. All the elevators, stairwells, and utilities run through it. It fights wind head on. But a building this thin can't rely on just the core, so they added outrigger trusses. Think of these like giant structural arms that connect the central core to the outer columns. When wind pushes one side of the building, the outriggers force the entire width of the tower to resist together. It's like giving a tightrope walker a long balancing pole. Makes them way more stable. But there's a foundation problem. Dubai Marina isn't built on solid rock. It's reclaimed land. Basically sand that was dredged up and packed down. To hold up 377 meters of concrete, steel, and 1,004 hotel rooms, they had to drill 40 to 50 meters deep into the ground, hitting the stable layers below. On top of those deep piles, they poured a thick concrete raft that spreads the weight evenly. And even the concrete mix is special. If you use too much regular cement, the raft overheats and cracks in Dubai's 45 degrees Celsius heat, so they mixed in fly ash and slag to control temperature. Basically, every single part of this building is engineered to handle forces normal buildings never face. Building it. Actually constructing this thing was a logistics puzzle. Phase 1, the groundwork. With almost no storage space, they ran the project like an airport runway, just-in-time delivery. A truck would only arrive when the crane was ready to lift. If the crane wasn't ready, the truck didn't come. One wrong move and you'd have trucks backing up into marina traffic, causing chaos. Phase 2, going up. As the tower grew taller, getting people and materials to the active floor became the hardest part. They used self-climbing formwork, hydraulic jacks that literally pushed the formwork upward floor by floor, faster, safer, and less affected by wind. Phase 3, the glass exterior. CL's outside had to look smooth and curved, but glass is manufactured flat. If they installed flat glass, the building would look broken into polygons. Not exactly the sleek look they wanted. So they used something called cold bending. Glass delivered flat, then gently bent into the curved frame during installation. Delicate? Absolutely. 82% of the panels needed tiny bends under 10 millimeters. The other 18% needed heavier bending. Mess up one panel and it shatters. Get it right and the building looks like it's melting into the sky. The fire problem. Here's something that keeps me up at night about this building. Just a few minutes away in Dubai Marina, the Torch Tower caught fire twice. Once in 2015, again in 2017. Fast-moving flames ran straight up the facade. Mass evacuations. People trapped on upper floors. That changed how Dubai thinks about high-rise safety. So CL was designed with layers of safety most hotels never need. Refuge floors. Reinforced fire-separated zones where people can rest during evacuation instead of having to run down 80 flights of stairs. Staged sprinkler pumps. Water pressure stays stable all the way from top to bottom. Perimeter fire seals. Can hold back flames for 2 hours, even when the building flexes in wind. All of this prevents fire from jumping from floor to floor through the exterior. But there's another risk nobody talks about, the operational nightmare. Running a 1,000-room hotel horizontally is already hard. Running it vertically? That's a logistical nightmare. CL has 20 elevators. 15 are high-speed guest lifts that travel at 8 meters per second. They use destination control, meaning you tell the panel where you're going, and it groups you with people headed to the same zone. Behind the scenes, service elevators move laundry, housekeeping, room service, and maintenance on strict schedules, so they never collide with guest traffic. Nothing is at ground level. Restaurants start at floor 74. Pools are in the sky. Every single one needs power, ventilation, fire systems, staff access. It's like a vertical city, and cities are complicated. The market gamble. Here's the uncomfortable truth about the building. Dubai's tourism hit 18.7 million visitors in 2024. Hotel occupancy sits around 79%, which is impressive. But hotel supply is exploding. New luxury hotels opening constantly, all targeting the same high-end travelers CL wants. CL's advantage is spectacle, the eye of the needle, the rooftop pool, the height, the drama. But this building has no plan B. If tourism dips, if travelers shift habits, if a recession hits, CL can't convert into offices or apartments. It's too specialized, too vertical, too expensive to operate. It's a big bet. If Dubai keeps growing, this tower prints money. If it doesn't, it becomes a very expensive monument. What it's like inside. Step inside and the height hits you immediately. You check in, tap your key card, and the elevator shoots upward before you even process what's happening. When the doors open, one side of the hallway is pure glass. The Gulf and Palm Island right there in view. At night, the building becomes something else entirely. You're standing on a glass floor looking straight down, or floating in the rooftop pool with the city glowing beneath you. Everything is designed to feel surreal, memorable, Instagrammable. But for the people who work there, different story. Housekeeping and staff move on tight schedules, using service elevators and hidden corridors. The tower shifts constantly with wind and temperature changes. A full team works around the clock just keeping it stable. And for the Dubai Marina community, mixed feelings. Another landmark brings energy and tourists, but also more traffic, more shadows, and stronger winds at street level. Tall towers create space upward, but concentrate effects downward. What it means. So what does CL Tower represent? On one level, it's a technical achievement. Engineers solve problems most people didn't think were solvable. On another level, it's a signal. Dubai is doubling down on tourism as its economic engine, but it's also a risk. This model only works if demand keeps climbing, if tourists keep coming, if the spectacle stays fresh. If the gamble pays off, CL becomes more than a hotel. It becomes a new model for building hospitality in cities where land has run out. When you can't build outward, you innovate upward, even if it means threading a skyscraper through one of the tightest plots imaginable. Final thoughts. As of December 2025, CL Tower stands complete in Dubai Marina, the world's tallest hotel, 1,004 rooms, 377 meters, built on a plot smaller than most parking lots. It's impressive, it's ambitious, it's a little bit crazy. Whether it becomes a landmark or a cautionary tale depends entirely on what happens next with global tourism. What do you think? Would you stay in a hotel this tall and this thin? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the wild engineering projects happening around the world.